Welcome to Zoom In, Zoom Out, your global look at news from here in Taiwan. I'm Leslie Liao. What goes into fine dining? The months of planning, development, and coordination. It's not just about eating, it's also about drinking. To tell us more about drinking culture when it comes to fine dining, I'm joined by Lesley Liu, head sommelier at Odette, a Michelin 3-star restaurant in Singapore. Now, Leslie is also a champion sommelier certified by Sopexa Singapore. She's spent years in the food and beverage industry, and she's also won many awards for her ability to discern outstanding wines. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. Spending the time with you guys, amazing.
First, we want to zoom in. Now, Leslie, you work at one of the highest rated restaurants in the world. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that as a career.
I think this is a very challenging part, especially when you are as a woman, as a female, it will be even much more tougher. So it will be lots of people, especially when in Asia, as not everybody can understand what you are doing, especially in fine dining restaurant. So I think when I start from my first career in hospitality, it's not about wine. It's about the food server and the restaurant. But after that, I felt like I should do something more, so that I a bit more dig into deeper.
Now, you told me that you are the only woman in Taiwan right now that holds an advanced ranking from the Court of Master Sommelier. Yes. How does that feel?
It was very challenging, to be honest, because I just got it last year. I got it in Sydney, Australia, and this will be very, very tough for the few different parts. You had the theory, you had the practical, you had the blind testing. So everything is, you need to pass everything. You cannot be miss that match for the score.
So can you tell us a little bit more about what kind of training goes into becoming a sommelier?
Basically, it will be the review and preview. So all the wine regions, and usually I will settle for my study schedule. So it will be per region, and also specific for a few items, such as this will be the spirit day. Then we'll just study for all the spirits, and I recap it, and I will make the flashcard as well. Then when you just take the transportation, you still need to go and quick check, did you miss out something? Because every day is challenging, because people were challenging you as well. You didn't know, just probably people or guests, they will come to the restaurant, then they will ask you the question, because they probably will be expert in certain file. So you need to be always very spot on, be very sharp.
What's a typical work day for you look like?
When I enter the restaurant, then I need to check out for all the wine by glass items. So I need to retest it. Then I need to prepare the champagne trolley. I need to check for all the sweet fortified wine. We go with the cheese trolley. So everything is drinkable. I need to recheck once again, as long as by glass. Talking with the chef, do you have some new dishes? Then prepare your wine pairing on the day spot.
So how do you decide what wine goes good with what dish?
I think now I work with the chef Julian is almost more than 4 years. I think I quite understand what is the style and what is usually for the sauces will be presented on the plate. So usually I test it. If it is the red wine sauce, of course you go with something a bit more heavier. But I'm trying to be a bit more creative.
Do you have a dish in mind that gave you the hardest time?
Yes, because he used the hot broth. And because I think he's trying to remind people is enjoy bak kut teh, which is very, very local food, very traditional food in Singapore. And usually you will have a very strong white pepper and with the pork rib. And also have the garlic, and it's a hot broth. Something enjoy with the hot broth with the spice, it's gonna be very difficult to enjoy with wine. So usually I will be very challenging about this part, because the wine cannot be sweet, because it will be hit with the heat. It cannot be something too spicy, because you already have the spice in the food. It cannot be something too oily, too heavy oak, because it cannot become bitter in the end.
You said that the chef wants to do their own characteristics, and you have to taste the dish, and you get to bring your own characteristics into that. What are your characteristics? What do you want to bring?
You want to enhance about the food, or you want to enhance about the wine. So usually I will be more a bit step back. So I prepare some wine will be, and you have the tannin, you have the structure, and I usually like to talk about the story behind the label. So usually we'll choose the female winemaker, then because they can showcase about lady power, and they also can enjoy something is aging potential. I really enjoy Syrah, Grenache, this kind of silky tannin. The texture is beautiful and not really well known compared to probably Pinot Noir or Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a little bit more low key, a little bit more low profile, so much more easy to enjoy with the food. certain food only.
Why leave Taiwan? Why did you leave Taiwan? You worked in everywhere from Taipei, you've worked in Taichung, you've also worked in Shanghai, now you're in Singapore.
After graduating, I work in Limu in Taichung, and which is a female chef called Chen Lanshu. She is also awarded best female chef in 2014. So actually, she is the first one to tell me if you want to become a international recognized sommelier, you have to leave Taiwan because you have zero experience. You have nothing related about wine. So that's why you have to go overseas to see what is the people doing.
Let's get into your expertise. At the end of the day, I mean, this is probably an oversimplification. What separates a good wine from a bad wine?
This is really interesting question, but I won't really say it's a good wine or bad wine. I think it's only have the wine go with wrong occasion. Because actually all the wine are good, but if you put if today we enjoy sushi, but you bring one very heavy, smoky, peaty whiskey, you're gonna have some conflict. You're gonna have some attract to each other. I won't say it's bad. The sushi is good, the whiskey is good, but they won't work with each other together. So the food won't talk to you. The wine won't talk to the food as well. So I think it's only had the bad occasion. You put it wrongly.
So the quartermaster sommelier, you're advanced right now. The next level is master.
Master.
What do you need to do to get to master level?
First of all, you have to wait for 2 years because you need to 2 years. You need to get the seats. So you get a ticket. So keep studying and keep training for your blind testing. The sequence will be you have the 6 glass in front of you, 3 white, 3 red, and you have 25 minutes. So you need to talk about wine number 1 is the white wine, the appearance is clear, is true. You need to talk about everything. Then in the end, you need to give the conclusion. It's like where this wine come from, what is the varietal, what is the vintage, what is the climate. Then 6. So you need to at least need to correct 5 or 5.5. Then you will pass.
Really quickly, Leslie, we have a bottle of wine for you right here. Leslie, can you tell me what you think about that wine? What's going through your head right now?
It's much more fruit driven, and it's not really light as your strawberry. It's a little bit more like blueberry, hints of more berry, hints of the tannin. You can feel for the earthiness, such as hints of the mushroom, and also have some like forest floor. The wine is easy approaching, and I think the temperature right now will be slightly more chill. I think it will, if you warm up a little bit, you have a much more flavor. This is the one usually I can think about to enjoy with probably root vegetable, such as for the beetroots. You also can enjoy with like green asparagus. Now is the season for the green asparagus and sugar snap pea. I think it can work with the wine very well.
All right, Leslie, so now we want to zoom out. Let's talk about wine culture, particularly here in Asia. What have you noticed about Asia's wine culture?
Chinese people is very, very early to start to drinking Burgundy. And usually they don't drink something too, I won't say they are not open-minded, but just like if they only drink Burgundy, they will drink all the cuvee, all the vintage, they will drink the vertical vintage. But compared to Singapore, and Singapore, it has so many different group of people. So usually people, they will drink something very funky, they are open-minded to try everything, but they won't drink something very deep. So they will be totally different. So I need to think about if I'm talking to Chinese people, what is the body language and what is the knowledge I should bring to the table.
You're saying you read body language when people come to the...
Yeah.
What kind of body language do you look for?
Yeah, sometimes if you like 2 or 3 girls, the young girls, they came into the restaurant, and they have a slightly heavier perfume, they like to take selfie, then you may need to have a glass of the rosé champagne because it's pink color, then you like to have some beautiful picture can showcase on your photo. So they might like to enjoy something a bit more sweeter. So might maybe carry sugar level Riesling, you'll be good for them. Then if the guy is just like sitting with us, is very serious, probably he will be the boss and he's the one paying. So that's why he doesn't want to have something too funky. So you maybe go for Bordeaux, something like classic, and also you can showcase about just how important he is.
What's it like pairing, wine with European cuisine or Asian cuisine? Is it harder to pair it with one cuisine over the other?
I think for Chef Julien, because his cooking philosophy, he is French, but he stay in Asian is almost like more than 20 years. So usually his dishes were trying to have a little bit engaged with the Asian culture. And we used to get lots of the like Japanese seafood and brought it to Singapore. So that's why it will be also can enhance about my pairing as well. I try to be much more everything. If you use the Japanese cuisine or Japanese ingredient, why not I try the Japanese wine? You have a wine from Hokkaido, you have a wine from Yamanashi. So trying to let them a little bit more connection, then people will be much more understanding for the cuisine and also for the wine selection.
Are there any vineyards in Asia, and how does their wine compare with the rest of the world?
Thailand actually they start to have some beautiful vineyard in the northeastern part. Usually very important is they need to be located into valley. It's a very good condition for the grapes. So usually in Taiwan as well. So Taiwan usually will be in central part. And Japan also starting to have lots of different wine aside from sake. Sake everybody drinking, beer everybody drinking, but I think wine will be quite cool and they really working hard on it. Yeah, even India also
India's
has.
got wine.
Yes,
No
India
kidding.
has wine. And usually they will always start with spirits. They will always start with cognac or probably you have a whiskey. Then after that they will start to have some grapes. But it takes time.
What about Taiwan wine? Is Taiwan wine a thing? Is it up and coming? You said you like to include it in the wine list. Does Taiwanese wine show any promise?
I think Taiwanese wine, because so far you have a few wineries, but one will be Westone, is much more famous, much more well known, and now Singapore we can get it. I think they are doing, the first one they're doing, because the grapes will be always hybrid, so it's not like international, people understanding for international grapes. But usually they will be very kind of aroma, lots of the tropical fruits, which is I always describe is very suitable for Taiwan's weather. And they really smart to do the sparkling, because sparkling usually you don't need to wait until it's fully ripe. You already can have the structure, you already can have the aroma. You make it sparkling, easy to drink.
Do you think there's a growing interest in people in wine tasting here in Asia? And if you do, where would you like to see the industry go?
I really want to have the much more young talent people can join the industry, because eat and drink, you will be the basic for your daily life. So I think everybody should, even you don't want to really do for the hospitality industry, you still can understanding it. So start from understanding, then I think wine tasting will be much more easier for everybody, because wine and beverages is for sharing. It's not things you need to, it's not a tool to make money. So I always tell the young generation is even you don't know about it, but if you have the free testing, you just go for it. Because when you test more, you will automatically have the muscle memory. You will have the sense, okay, I like it, I don't like it. As long as you can define what is the things you enjoy a lot, then just go for it.
Leslie, what is the one thing that you enjoy about your job? What is the thing that you love the most about your work?
I like to talk to people. Whenever I give you some recommendation or give you some suggestion, if they kind of, so cool, how come you can read my mind? I just feel oh yes, I got it. I understand it, yes. Just this will be part of achievement for my job. When I see the people, they understanding why I recommend this wine, I will give you the reason. And sometimes the people don't also want to talk to you too much, and they are kind of test you. Do you know about this wine? Yes, actually, you give some answer, they will be oh, okay, this lady, this girl, she knows why. They will start to build up the trust in between. So I feel like this will be much more important for my job.
Well, thank you for joining us on this very special Leslie and Leslie edition of Zoom In, Zoom Out. For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, please visit our social media or visit the TaiwanPlus website. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
In the face of adversity, the power of truth.
A roadmap for a just and open world, charted by the freest country in Asia.
Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
TaiwanPlus News, a voice of freedom in Asia.
For the biggest stories in tech, business, and more, be sure to follow TaiwanPlus on social media.